I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and welcome to our podcast, For the Health of It, episode 72. Remember to subscribe to our podcasts, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So glad we're together. Love when you guys are here because we have so much fun together. But we're having fun, of course, but today's a real serious topic. We're talking about how chemicals are actually feminizing men and women. And again, it's not a social statement I'm making here. It's a scientific statement. Because men have different hormones than women. And we all have the same hormones, but different levels. But there's chemicals, and the one we started with is called phthalates, that are acting in men they act like endocrine disruptors, it's called. Endocrine is your hormone system, and it's disrupting your hormone system. And that's real serious because it's not just the feminizing of men, it's the fact that we're seeing an increase in heart disease, cancer, testicular cancer, and the ability to reproduce. Since 1973 to 2011, sperm count in men in North America and Europe has dropped about 60%. Now you think, well, that's not that big a deal. So what? That's a warning sign. It's like pain. Pain is telling you something's wrong. When we start to see sperm count drop and testosterone levels drop, something's wrong. And a lot of the research I'm buying into is that it's environmental chemicals that men are being exposed to. And it's not just when they're alive, it's when they're in utero. Mothers are exposing themselves to these chemicals, it's getting into the babies, and it's causing a problem. Now, once again, I said, let's assume I'm wrong. Let's assume everything I've ever taught is wrong. So what? Everything I teach you is safe, mostly passive, very inexpensive. Why wouldn't you do these things? And I've been lecturing now for about 35 years. And I have a list, it's so funny, I have a list in my office, it's called Dr. Joe Was Right. And every time I did a lecture, I did a research project, and I talked about something that wasn't quite mainstream yet, when it comes to fruition, I just mark it off. Hydrogenated oils, heart disease, testosterone levels, chiropractic care, holistic, acupuncture. Oh, acupuncture, that's voodoo, it doesn't work and everything. Guess what? They teach acupuncture now in medical schools. I'm board certified in pain management. I'm board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management. I'm double board certified in nutrition. Years ago, acupuncture wasn't used in the pain management world. Guess what? It's being taught now. So a lot of the things that were like, oh, it doesn't work, it's a bunch of humbug, now it's mainstream. And so that's why when you watch these shows and you listen to my podcasts, and watch my podcasts, you're so far ahead of the curve for everybody else. So we're talking about these chemicals that can affect male fertility. Phthalates are one of them, exposures to things like monosodium glutamate, fluoride, medications like statin drugs, electromagnetic fields, obesity, inactivity. Activity builds up testosterone. So take the opportunity to move every chance you can. Pulled up to the studio today. Parked my car. I could have parked close to the door. Why? Parked far away. I'm going to save gas. I mean, it's only a little bit. Parked far away and walked. Was downstairs, had to come upstairs to the studio. So what did I do? Took the stairs. And it's always funny because when I walk the stairs, I'll see the thin people who work here at the studio and the healthy people, and they're on the stairs with me, and we'll wave to each other and say, hey, man, that's great. And I see the people who aren't so healthy taking the elevator. Why wouldn't you take the stairs? It's another 20 seconds. And it's your chance to get the body in motion, which can actually help increase your testosterone levels, men and women. And again, testosterone is not just your sex drive hormone. It helps build muscle. We said this earlier, not just biceps and triceps, but your heart, your colon, your blood vessels. These are all muscles, and you need testosterone. Sad story. I'll go off on a tangent here for a second. My father, they diagnosed him with possibly the beginning signs of prostate cancer. This is 14 years ago. So the doctor, and I wish I'd gotten into this, and I didn't. My mother and father did this without telling me. They were going to give him a shot that was going to shut down his testosterone production so that the prostate cancer wouldn't grow anymore, because that was one of the issues. They gave him a shot, and I remember seeing him. My father he was a little chubby, but he always had great muscles. He was a hardworking man his whole life. And he always had a really nice build on him. And as he got older, he got a little beer belly, but you can still see the muscles under there. And I saw him, his muscles became weak. The hair was falling off his chest. His face wasn't as fuzzy. He's Italian. He didn't have his beard like he used to. And then he died. Heart stopped. Didn't have a heart attack. Heart stopped. Fell off the couch. So I did research on the medicine they gave him, and sure enough, one of the big warning signs, do not give this prostate drug, this testosterone blocking whatever drug it was, to people with a heart condition. Guess what? My father had a heart condition. So I'm scared. There's a Moody Blues song, and one of the lines from the song is, and I'm frightened for your children. And I am frightened for your children, because these are things that you can do every single day to take steps to protect them. That's your job, isn't it? Your job is to take care of your kids. So I'm worried about what's happening, and these studies scare the heck out of me when I see sperm count dropping 60% from 1973 to 2011. That's some scary stuff right there. So let's talk about some of the sources of phthalates. They can get in through ingestion. You can ingest them. You can inhale them. They can get on your skin. Phthalates are linked to asthma and respiratory reactions. So a lot of people don't realize they have children with asthma, or you have breathing problems, and you have air fresheners in your house. Now, you can use things like essential oils. Those are fine. But when you have the chemical smells, that's where you start having the problems. Study from Columbia University. First to demonstrate an association between childhood asthma and prenatal exposure to phthalates. Prenatal, in the mommy's belly, getting exposed to these chemicals. Children brought to mothers exposed to higher levels of this one phthalate, there's different types of phthalates, greater than 70% increased risk of developing asthma between 5 and 11. 70% increase of developing asthma. So what do? We treat the asthma, which I'm fine with, but we don't treat the cause of the asthma. And so again, I'm not against taking medications. Please understand, I'm not against surgeries. But from a chiropractic standpoint, a pinched nerve in the lower part of the neck, that's the nerve supply to the lungs. And I've had patients over the years in full asthma attack. Can't breathe. Come into our office. We lay them on a table. We adjust them. And they're able to breathe again. It's the coolest thing. If patients are happy with that, they love that. Now, again, it's not the only thing pinch nerves, but now we know phthalates are part of this too. So let's talk about various kinds and where they can be found. Toys. Be careful with plastic toys for children. Make sure they're BPA free, bisphenol A free. It's one of those endocrine disrupting hormones. Fast food packaging. I used to work for a pizza place. And actually, right after I graduated college, 30 some odd years ago, I deliver pizza at night to pay my rent on my office during the day because I didn't have any patients. And my biggest fear, of course, I deliver a pizza to a patient. Hey, John, here's your pizza. See you Thursday. I never did, luckily. But what we do now is we line the pizza boxes, whoever we are, and the wrappers that you put food in, they line it with a chemical that's non-stick so that the food doesn't stick to the wrapper. But guess what? That chemical can get into your food. Plastic hoses, medical tubing even. That kind of concerns me with medical tubing. Raincoats and rubber items. If they smell like plastic, they're giving off these toxic chemicals. Shower curtains. Try to do like a hemp shower curtain or one that doesn't smell like plastic, a cloth one if you want to. But be careful if it smells like plastic. And here's what you can do. Take it, put it outside, and air it out. And then once it stops smelling, less likely to have those chemicals there. Vinyl flooring and wall covers. You know that smell you walk in to a new house or something like that is vinyl flooring and you smell it? Those are toxic chemicals. New cars. Lubricants and adhesives. Very big concern. I have to, as we go off on a little tangent again here, we're talking about reproduction. There are certain lotions and lubricants that you can use, and a lot of them have endocrine disrupting hormones in them. My God, you're putting these toxic chemicals on very thin, sensitive skin, getting absorbed into the body. Be careful with that. Detergents. Get scent-free detergents. Please, I'm begging you. And try to get natural ones if you can. But if you want to do the commercial ones, at least get them unscented. Dryer sheets. Dryer sheets do not soften your clothes. They create a little film of oil on your clothes so it's smooth and slippery. There's absolutely no need for dryer sheets because they're toxic chemicals and they can get into the body and cause issues. Beauty products, and I got to do a whole show on this. I did one years ago. I got to do a new one. Makeup, nail polish, hairspray, shampoo. Go to that natural food section in your grocery store, the section you've never been to, and see if you can get some that are all natural. And the word all natural, by the way, doesn't mean it's all natural. All natural doesn't have a definition. My shoe is all natural. Doesn't mean I should eat it. But try to look for organic. That's always a good term because organic means they're not going to put a lot of chemicals in it. Phthalates are out of the body in about half of it is called a half-life. If you ever heard the term half-life, that's how long does it take for half of it to get out of the system or for half of it to break down. 24 to 48 hours, most of the phthalates are out of your system in about 96 hours. But what happens is phthalates are fat soluble, which means they can be absorbed into your body and stored in your fat cells. And then the fat cells slowly can release these phthalates over time. So that's another problem we have here. They're really big in personal care products. Women who tend to have higher levels in their system than men, they do have higher levels because they use more personal care products. Higher levels in people who regularly eat fast food, food that's packaged in plastic or nonstick wrappers. It's not a secret. This isn't some bizarre thing that I'm suggesting. This is what the research is showing. It's pretty clear. Other research linking phthalates to male and female hormone problems. Your endocrine system is your hormone system. It's so vital. It makes your moods. It controls your moods, your growth, your development, tissue function, metabolism, sexual function, reproductive process. We don't use a lot of hormones in our lives. Very, very few. In fact, if you look at we don't use a lot of things in our lives, like vitamin B12. Vitamin B12, in a lifetime, we use about a thimbleful. Thimble, not a lot. But you have to have it in low doses on a regular basis. That's why one of the products we have on our website, drjoe.com, is Dr. Joe's B Complex. I'm a vegan. I don't eat animal products. I haven't had any animal products in 34 years. In fact, it was funny. I was just downstairs, and one of the newscasters came up to me. They had hamburgers, little square hamburgers. And he said, all right, Dr. Joe, $200. If you take one bite of one of these hamburgers, I'll donate it to your favorite charity. He said it's 100, then he said 200. So I picked it up, and the whole studio stopped. Everyone in this whole newsroom stopped, and they're looking at it because they know I'm a vegan. And I picked it up, and I went, I can't do it. He goes, oh, come on, Doc. I said, listen, I'm not going to ruin 34 years of eating good diet on a little square hamburger. And everybody, they laughed and they clapped. They said, way to stand behind your standards, Dr. Joe. I bet you it would taste good. I had one. I remember last time I had one, I was on my way to a Grateful Dead concert. That's how long ago I had one of these little square hamburgers. It was tasty. I remember it. But why would I compromise my health for something as silly as that? And I want you to start thinking these thoughts, because you don't need, go back to B12. I take a B12 complex, a supplement, because you get B12 from rotting flesh. Bacteria eat animal products, meat, and they give off B12. Well, your colon also produces B12 because you have bacteria in your colon as well, but you can also take a supplement. And I take Dr. Joe's B Complex every day. One of the B vitamins is B12. So I want to do everything I can to keep myself healthy. I don't want to compromise my health by doing something silly like having a little square hamburger. And I know that's a little extreme for some of you, and I respect that. I know you're not there. But I want you to do little steps every day to try to get better. Avoid the things we're talking about today. Avoid the plastics and the air fresheners and the new car smells and things like that. I bought a new car not long ago, well, many years ago now. I keep my cars forever. And I opened up the windows and I aired it out for days until the smell was gone, because I know those are endocrine disrupting hormones. Women with the highest level of phthalates in their urine began menopause 2.3 years earlier than women with lowest. So now let's get into the women issues. Some may enter menopause as much as 15 years earlier with high phthalate levels in their blood and their urine. 15 years earlier. Now that becomes an issue because women are now waiting a little later to have babies, sometimes into their 30s and 40s to have babies. They have a career, and I'm fine with that. But now what happens if you expose yourself to all these chemicals and now it's too late? No, the easy way to do is avoid it. Other things, other health issues associated with phthalate exposure: attention deficit disorder, ADD, breast cancer, obesity, type 2 diabetes, lower IQ, autism, neurodevelopment issues, that's the nervous system not developing properly, behavioral issues, imbalanced hormones, liver cancer, altered thyroid function, and miscarriages. Sounds like it's extreme, doesn't it? It is. These are things we have to start noticing. It has to make mainstream media so that people start taking notice of it. And there are options for everything. There's nothing I'm talking about today that is not an option. And if you choose to do it, awesome. If you choose not to do it, it's your call. Okay, I can only give you the information. What you do with that information is up to you. But as a chiropractor and as a healthcare practitioner, my goal is get you well every way we can. I always say you need three things to get well: normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition. From a chiropractic standpoint, your nervous system controls everything. So if you have a pinched nerve going to an organ, that organ may not be working properly. You may have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, and you're suffering. And you're suffering needlessly. Because if the bones are out of place, we put them back in place and then stabilize the spine, and in most cases, people do great. Not everybody. We can't help everybody. But you got to give it a shot. I tell people, too, if you come in, don't expect to be healed in 1 or 2 visits. If you've had this problem for 30 years. I ran into one of my coworkers downstairs, and he calls me his hero now. Every time he sees me, he says, "Hey, Dr. Joe, my hero." Suffered for years. He's in his 60s. And he came in as a patient. He says, "I can't believe this whole new life I have, and I suffered for decades." I said, "Well, that's my point. Stop suffering and get it fixed." And he says, "Now I'm feeling better. I do listen to you, though. I know that once I start feeling better, I need to keep working with it to stabilize the spine." I said, "Excellent, right." So we want to get the nervous system working, the digestive system working. A lot of people have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. 30 years ago, I didn't see it. Now I see it in about 85% of my patients. So we may have to manually pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm so that you can digest your food better. It's a physical problem. The stomach is spasmed up against your diaphragm. And then we get you on good nutrition. And if you're not willing to do anything, please at least take high-quality supplements. Don't take the cheap stuff, folks. Cheap stuff doesn't work. And not saying that my supplements are expensive, but the lower quality, let's put it that way, the lower quality supplements don't work. So minimum, you're looking for a starting point, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. You can go to my website, drjoe.com. They're 2 powders. They taste great. I mix them with coconut milk, almond milk, water, shake it up and drink it at least once a day. We ran out a couple of weeks ago. The shipment got tied up somewhere, and we didn't get it for about a week. We ran out of supplements. You would have thought I beat somebody's child. "Where's the Essential Source? Where's the Essential Source? I'm out. I've been out for a week now." We got the shipment in, bam. All 3 of our offices were packed with people wanting it. So the stuff is pretty amazing. And that's on the website, drjoe.com. I take B-complex as well every day. I take vitamin D in the winter especially. Those are on the web, and I take adrenal support. All those are on the website, drjoe.com. And if you want to make an appointment to come see us, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, go to my website and do it right now. Don't forget. Don't wait. If you're driving, write it down or make yourself a message. And do it right away, drjoe.com. The Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to help get you well and keep you well. That's our goal. We want to be your doctors, okay? And my doctors are awesome, by the way. All my doctors, by the way, are handpicked by me, trained by me, and here's the kicker, they're my personal doctors. If I don't trust them taking care of me, I don't trust them taking care of you. I'm very, very picky on who we hire in our offices, and they're all excellent. So, an article in GQ, isn't it interesting? The article is called Sperm Count Zero. Dire prediction that childbearing may soon become a privilege of those who can afford fertility treatments. Because again, 60% drop in sperm from 1973 to 2011. As that trend continues and more people have trouble conceiving, what's going to happen? Well, if you're wealthy, you can have in vitro fertilization, and that might work. If you're not wealthy, it's not a good thing. But again, it's not just about making babies. It's about keeping you healthy, and it's affecting the hormones. Very, very dangerous. And the concern, too, is that parts of the world have seeing a lower sperm count, other parts of the world aren't. So it may lead to a shift of our societies, who can produce and who can reproduce and who can't. And it's become a big issue. And again, I didn't see it 30 years ago. I see it all the time in my practice now. It's a big issue. We know it's hard to conceive, and it's expensive to conceive for some people. So the expense of having children may no longer be available. The opportunity to have children may not be available to a lot of couples. And I'm seeing more and more, and I follow trends, more and more fertility clinics popping up all over the place. Why? There's a need for it. Guys, be scared. There's a new technique. It's called vivo gametogenesis. They've done it in Japan. 2016, Japanese scientists created baby mice by fertilizing normal mouse eggs with sperm created from stem cells. Now, stem cells, I've covered this before. I'm excited about stem cells. I think it's a really cool trend in healthcare now. But they're taking stem cells from women, and I don't know how they're doing it. This is just what the article said. Converting it or making it become a sperm and then fertilizing the eggs. If this works, and apparently it's working in mice now, we're not going to need men anymore. So gentlemen, you might want to take note of this. It can be a big issue. It can actually, we have no need for us anymore. Now, I know they did this already where they spliced 2 eggs together and did the same thing. So really, as the male issues become more and more prevalent and sperm drops and testosterone drops and we feminize our society, we may not need men anymore. So again, is that a silly prediction? I hope it is. I hope I'm just being silly and laughing at that one. Generational effects of phthalates and endocrine disrupting chemicals. You want to start taking steps to fix it. And I'm kind of getting toward the end of the show here. So if you're just tuning in, by the way, you missed an amazing show. We covered a lot of technical stuff, a lot of new research that's out. Go to my website, drjoe.com. You'll see the audio and the video is going to be on the website right there. We have over 1,000 hours of podcasts on the website, drjoe.com. If you have a podcast service, the podcast is called For the Health of It. You can stream it there. But spend some time listening to the shows. This is cutting-edge stuff. This is beyond postgraduate. Postgraduate is after a doctor graduates, we do or anyone graduates, they do postgraduate study after they got their degree. This is even beyond that. And that's why the shows are so popular all over the world. Go to website, drjoe.com, and you can listen to them. If you want to make an appointment, we said drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. My supplements are there. At least, please, Super Green's an essential source, but I recommend more than that. If you're not available to come see us in person, I know this show goes all over the world, we can always do a Skype or we can do a phone consultation as well, and that's just call the office. We'll set that up for you. All right. Got to cover these things real quick. What you need to do, steps you need to take right now to start protecting yourself against these chemicals. Avoid plastic food containers and plastic wrap. Store foods in glass containers instead. You go in my pantry, I have 2 shelves of glass bottles. Anytime I buy something in a glass bottle, I wash it out and save it. A, it's good for the environment. You're recycling. B, saves me money because I'm going to throw that jar away anyway. And C, glass is safe. And I have all sorts of different sizes. I make soups. I put them in big jars, little jars. I give out a lot of my food when I make food. I give it to my friends and family. So, yeah, save your plastic glass jars. Plastic toys. Use toys made of natural substances such as wood or organic materials. So you want to get a doll, get organic cotton. Try to stay away from the ones that are plastic. Read the labels in cosmetics. If it says phthalates on it, don't use it. Not good. And there are natural products now, which is cool because 30 years ago when I started eating right, the main food I ate was salad and rice and beans. Now, everywhere I go, it's in New York City. Like I said on the Dr. Oz show, I love New York. I'm from Hoboken. So walking around New York City, and I saw one restaurant, no matter what the cuisine was, that didn't have something plant-based in there, which is really kind of cool. So there's perfumes out there now. There's hairsprays that are all natural, which is great. A little more expensive, but guess what? You're going to save, this is the thing, you're going to save so much money on food when you start eating right. I mean this. You're going to have tons of money to spend on whatever you want. And everyone who does it says, wow, if nothing else, Doc, I'm saving a ton of money. I said, there you go, you're right. Avoid products labeled with fragrance. It's a catch-all term where phthalates are oftentimes used. Try to avoid air fresheners. Essential oil, real essential oil, not essential oil air fresheners. That works really well. You can put them in a diffuser. You can just put them on your skin. You can put them around the house. They work great. Personal care products, store them in glass containers. Try to get the things out of the plastic. Read labels that say PVC-free, including children's lunch boxes, backpacks, storage containers. Even backpacks have these chemicals on them. I wouldn't recommend microwaving in plastic. I know there's some studies that say it's safe, some that say it don't. Hey, you know what? Why take the chance? Use glass. You're saving these glass jars, remember? Make sure it's microwave safe, by the way. Try to vacuum as often as possible and dust as often as possible. In my house, all tile and hardwoods, pre-finished hardwoods when I had them put in. And I have one of those robot vacuums. Love it. Oh my gosh, one of the greatest investments I've ever made. I think I'm on my 3rd one now. I've burned them out. I love those things. Push a button, come home, dump the dirt out, and it's done. You'll be amazed how dirty your house is. Now, I have no connection to these robot vacuum companies. I just think they're the greatest thing ever. And this way you don't have to, I don't want to feel like vacuum. I don't want to take the vacuum out, push a button, and go home. It's great. Even pills. I have a lot of patients who are pharmacists. And prescription pills are sometimes coated, and those coatings can contain phthalates. Why they contain phthalates, I have no idea. And as far as eating goes, try to eat mostly fresh fruits and vegetables. I want to have something raw at every meal. Now, I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, some fruit. Raw food, organic when I can, which is almost always. Raw food is going to give you enzymes that are going to help your body heal and break down and detoxify chemicals. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, we make it with mostly raw food, raw ingredients, so the enzymes are still active. Because enzymes, when they get into the body, are the reason you're alive. You can take calcium, magnesium, boron, silica. What makes those things form a cell and then that cell come alive? Enzymes. Enzymes make it work. Then the nervous system, its spark of life, lights up the body. So in order to get well, again, normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, good nutrition. If you just tuned in, the show's going to be on my website, drjoe.com. It's one of the podcast, audio and video. If you have a podcast service, it's called For the Health of It. You can stream my shows there. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, please stop suffering needlessly. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. Biggest complaint I get from patients, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer so long? drjoe.com. You can book it right online in the Atlanta area. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to be your doctors. We want to help get you well and keep you well. So go to the website, do it right now. You can order my supplements, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, the B Complex. Got a bunch of other supplements too. My books are there. Prescription for Extreme Health, Eating Right for the Health of It. Those are there as well. Any questions you have, if we didn't cover it on some of the podcasts, you can always send it to me through the website, drjoe.com. Because once again, my team of doctors, our goal is naturally get you well and keep you well. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well. You can also listen to and call into my radio show live Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 Eastern Time on WSBRadio.com and on the WSB Radio app.